And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Yeah, Monday morning, April 7th. Damn, it's April already, dude. It's getting toasty out here, too. I love it. I love the hot weather. Love it. Baseball weather. Dodgers are popping, even though they've lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. Bryce Harper fan here, so not all terrible. Outside that, just doing that dad shit, dude. We're on that dad rec ball and travel ball grind. The whole weekend is just baseball on baseball. Rec ball is, we'll never do it again. We'll never do it again. Just going to stick with travel moving forward, especially when we get to Texas. Probably all travel out there. Rec ball is tough. We got a game tonight. Tigers versus the Rangers. And I have no expectations. That's how you got to do it as a dad. I heard someone say this for all you dads out there, kids are playing sports, especially baseball. For whatever reason, the baseball dad is a particular type of dad that criticizes their son, knowing damn well they couldn't hit the ball that 9-year-old's throwing. There's no way. But yet they have all the answers, and they probably quit playing baseball in high school. For those dads out there, if you want your kid to quit playing baseball, do this. And if you want him to quit playing video games, so if you want your kid playing less video games, criticize him while he's playing video games like you criticize him playing baseball. So when he's playing Fortnite or Rivals or the MLB Show or Madden, sit over his shoulder and go, no, you should hit X. No, what are you doing? You should go here. No, hit X faster. Oh, come on, dude. L1. Do that. Criticize your son when he's playing video games if you want him to quit. Do the exact same thing you do when you're sitting in the bleachers and your kid's playing baseball and he knows he's made a mistake and you embarrassed him yelling at him. Do the exact same thing when he's playing video games and he will stop playing video games. Because if you're going to do that when they're playing baseball, they're going to stop playing baseball. Little words of wisdom there for you. Just go ahead and criticize the kid while he's playing video games and he'll shut that shit down. So if you want to play baseball, shut your yapper, okay? Just shut your yapper. It's tough to do. I get it. Boy, do I get it. 2 went 2 for 4. I get it. I definitely get it. As far as the fight world goes, you had another bullshit Apex card. Terrible Apex card. None of that matters. They've just been edging us to this UFC 314 in Miami, and it is a tasty one. It's so funny how far we've come now in 2025 where this is like this card's a big deal. Where this was the run-of-the-mill pay-per-view back in the day. This would be like, that's all right. Now we're like, oh my God, look what they're giving us. You know? It's like your wife never makes dinner and she makes some shitty dinner once. You're like, oh, she's the best ever. When you were dating, she's making dinner every night. Now one dinner, you're like, oh my God, when that used to be the standard, this pay-per-view, don't get me wrong, it's good. But compared to back in the day, it's just, this new fan base, like, oh my God, UFC, you're so good to us. Oh, man. You kids you missed the come up. You missed the glory days. I love this card. I absolutely love this card. It's great. There's so many stories, narratives. You got some old heads that are fighting literally for their entire livelihood. And then you got the young crop coming up. You got the young crop there. And if they get these wins, they're the next. They're next in line. That's how it is. God, you just look at it. The stories are all the same. Patricio Pitbull had a phenomenal career in Bellator. We've been waiting for him to come to the UFC. He's not young. He has all the miles on him, and they give him a Yair Rodriguez. Enjoy that. The Bryce Mitchell Silva fight. This one's interesting, right? Because obviously Bryce Mitchell has been in the headlines for the wrong reasons lately. And anybody who knows Bryce knows he's actually a good person, but obviously has some insane beliefs and is steered in the wrong direction. That's whatever. But the dude can fight. Say what you want about him. I know this whole Hitler stuff and all that bullshit and flat earth and the devil, he thinks Silva's the devil and he's having these horrible dreams and they're trying to tempt him. It's a bunch of malarkey. It's some crazy shit. He hasn't been sleeping. That's a whole nother narrative we should get into. But at the end of the day, take all that out. If this is just black and white, A fighter versus B fighter, blue corner versus red corner, Bryce Mitchell can straight up fight, dude. Straight up. Bryce can fight. I know this was like a disciplined fight. Not to just fight for Silva, man. Can he go out there and throw a flying knee and starch him? He's explosive. Yes. Bryce's fucking grappling is trouble, dude. It's trouble. So for those of you who are tuning into this card because you want to see the anti-Semitic Bryce Mitchell, the pro-Hitler Bryce Mitchell get his ass whooped, you might leave pretty sad. The dude, and for those of you that know Bryce, you're not familiar with his career, the dude can fight. Straight up. Bryce Mitchell can fight. What's alarming about this, though, is when he says he hasn't been sleeping, right? And he has these dreams and the devil and all that. When I hear a fighter's not sleeping this far out, I'm like, ugh. So hopefully there's no more MMA media, though. There's no actual journalists. So it's not like you're going to have the Nelk boys asking Bryce Mitchell if he's getting enough sleep and having a good camp. So we don't find out that important stuff. But if anybody close to Bryce, anybody in the MMA sphere finds out that Bryce has not been sleeping at all leading up to this fight, the night before, that happens to the best of them. Happened to me, happened to some of the top fighters no sleep before the fight is okay. It's the Thursday that's important. You can do one night. The night before the fight, if you're sleeping like a baby, that's weird. Your sleep should be disrupted. It's all good. You're still going to be able to perform. But in camp, that's an issue. So, but I would pick Bryce Mitchell in this fight, but I need to know if the homeboy's been getting any sleep. If they tell me he's not sleeping, I'm taking Silva all day. Silva's a big favorite too. But again, I know everyone hates Bryce and he's this horrible person, all that shit. Throw that out the window. This is just fighting. Bryce can fucking fight. But if a crazy Bryce isn't sleeping, we got a problem. I can't bet on him if he's not sleeping. I'm going to ask Nick about it. Maybe Nick Davis knows. He knows some weird shit. Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. Love Michael Chandler. You guys know this. He's been on the show multiple times. We had guests. He's such a good dude. Great father. He's had an exciting career in the UFC. Successful, money-wise, yeah. Money-wise. As far as wins, no. I think he's lost 4 out of his last 5. He had the win over Tony Ferguson, so that's the one similar win him and Paddy have is over Tony Ferguson, which, it's a different Tony. It's not like you're beating Tony in his prime when he's one of the best, if not the best, 155er walking the planet and couldn't get the Khabib fight. They're not fighting that Tony Ferguson, but they both beat Ferguson. I'd say Paddy had a more impressive win. Chandler, there's some struggles earlier, but all anybody remembers is the Spartan kick to the face. Chandler's interesting because if he doesn't win this one, for a few guys, so if Patricio doesn't win, if Chandler doesn't win, we'll get to Volkanovski. If Volkanovski doesn't win, the ride's over. That's what's at stake here. The ride's over. So for Chandler, he's like road to the title, champ shit, all that. That's over. You lose to a young line in Paddy Pimblett, and it's over. And you've lost 5 out of your last 6. If you lost to Paddy, you've lost 4 out of your last 5. Again, exciting. And there's always going to be a home for him at the UFC. But as far as fighting the top dogs, he's only lost to kind of the tip of the spear guys. Charles Oliveira, there's nothing wrong with that. Justin Gaethje, nothing wrong with that. Fought a weathered Tony Ferguson. Did work there. Spartan kick to the fucking face. Dustin Poirier, tip of the spear. Charles Oliveira, tip of the spear. And he got mollywopped in that Charles Oliveira fight. That's what's, if you're a Michael Chandler fan, which I am, that's what's a little alarming. The other ones, he'll make like a bonehead mistake, he won't wrestle. He'll just, guns a-blazing, get caught, something happens, and he loses. You're like, all right, but it was exciting. The Charles Oliveira one wasn't that exciting. He got his ass whooped for 5 rounds. The last 2 minutes, you cheered because he kind of came back, did some work there. But he just got dismantled for 25 minutes. He got dismantled for 21 minutes. There's 4 minutes where there's a little back and forth in that 5th round. Remember, he like picked Charles Oliveira up and okay. That's what's alarming. So I think him competing at the tip of the spear level, the top 5 level, is probably over. So now they give him Paddy Pimblett, who's outside the top 5. You lose to this young lion in Paddy Pimblett, the Liverpool finest, and the ride's over. The ride's over. The ride is definitely over. People have a lot to say about Paddy Pimblett. Obviously, he's, he just gets a response out of the fan base. Has a lot of haters, a lot of lovers. Again, like Bryce Mitchell, the motherfucker can fight, dude. And you want to talk about out of anybody on the card, and there's some stars. Yair, Patricio, Bryce, Silva, Chandler, Volkanovski, pound for pound number 1 for a long time. Diego Lopes, oh my God. There's not even close to a bigger star than Paddy Pimblett. If Paddy Pimblett gets through this fight, if he passes this test, because remember, y'all thought he was going to lose to Bobby Green. Y'all thought he was going to lose to King Green. He beat the fuck out of Bobby Green. Beat the shit out of him. Remember, y'all thought, for his first real test, he passed that with flying colors. Oh, no, King Green, he's older. That doesn't matter. Now he's fighting Michael Chandler, who's no punk. So keep the same energy when he fights Michael Chandler. But I'll tell you the narrative will be, no, he got to age Michael Chandler. He's older. But as far as star quality, I've interviewed everybody. There ain't nobody that checks all the boxes and gets as close as they can to Conor McGregor in the height of his fame than Paddy Pimblett. The dude has the it factor. The dude can fucking fight. He checks all boxes. He's the closest thing they have on the roster. Not Topuria, doesn't have the charisma that Paddy has. Not Volkanovski, doesn't have the charisma. Doesn't have that X factor. Out of anybody on the UFC roster, and I've been around everybody, there's no one close to Paddy Pimblett. That dude has something about him. He just has it. He just does. He just does. And remember, when he was younger, he'd blow up to like 240 pounds. When he was on food truck, he was so fat and ate all the burgers. Notice he's not doing that anymore. He was able to do that because he was flying by the seat of his pants, but with talent and not being disciplined and beating up everybody. And then he gets in a little bit of trouble. And then notice that motherfucker's in. You're not seeing him blow up anymore. He's in shape between fights now. And I told him, he goes, I can get away with it. I'd never take a short notice fight. Like, I get that, man, but you're going to get to a level where you're fighting guys where every ounce is in your body's gonna take to beat these guys. And what you're doing now, it's fine, but you're gonna get to that level. He's at that level, and he knows that. His team knows that. You don't see him blow up anymore. I think he beats Michael Chandler. I think Yair Rodriguez beats Patricio, and then we get to the main event with Volkanovski, Diego Lopes. Again, on paper, who's the more skilled fighter? Volkanovski does everything better than Diego Lopes besides like explosive, unorthodox movement. Diego Lopes is younger, he's more explosive, better finishing power than Volkanovski. So he has that. His finishing capabilities, his flying knees, his explosiveness, he's unpredictable. That kind of rush in the moment movement. Diego Lopes has that in spades. He has that, but that's the only advantage he has over Volkanovski. When it comes to skill, striking, technical striking, grappling, wrestling, cardio, IQ, experience, fucking Volkanovski destroys him in everything. But Volkanovski is 36 years old. There's never been a guy over the age of 35 to do what Volkanovski's attempting. Sure as fuck not at 35, not at 45, not at 55. So when you hear that, it's never been done. If there's a guy to do it, probably Volkanovski. My heart's with Volkanovski. My brain's with Diego Lopes. It's a terrible matchup for Volkanovski because he's coming off those 2 losses. He took the short notice fight with Islam, got head kick KO'd, and then comes back shortly after, fights Ilia Topuria, gets fucking KO'd. 2 horrible losses, but he made all the money. I can't blame him. Life-changing money. He's kind of good. He's pretty set. Has a farm out in Australia, has the 4th baby girl on the way. So to take those short notice fights, especially the one in Abu Dhabi, and then the short notice with Ilia Topuria, shorter notice at featherweight, he made all the bank. And he's a prize fighter, so I don't hold it against him. I get it, dude. Life-changing money in this game, fucking get your bag, dog. And he did that, but it came at a cost. It came at a horrible cost. Horrible cost. This should be a lesson for managers out there. Like, yeah, your fighters can make bank, but it's going to shorten their career. Chance of them winning is not good. So now he's on the wrong side of 30. He's 36, and he's fighting a surging young lion in Diego Lopes. Has a chance to win the belt again, right? Because the vacated Topuria is moving up to 55. Diego's first fight he fought Movsar Evloev, lost to that in decision. Other than that, he doesn't have any great. The Brian Ortega win was good. He put it on him that first round, then coasted to the next two. Wanted to prove a point, he said. Was trying to submit him. Dan Ige is always a good win. That's at a catch weight. Super short notice, right? He doesn't have a lot of quality wins at all. At all. God, if Alex was just a little younger, I'd pick him all fucking day. I'm rooting for Alex. I want Alex to win. But it's never been done before, especially at this weight class. You know? And Volkanovski loses this one, it's over. The ride's over. There might be 1 or 2 fights left, but as far as like fighting for shit we care about, those days are done. Chandler too. The whole, walk on and road to the championship, that's over. Patricio, Bellator legend, one of the best. Been waiting for him to come. He just has too many miles. He loses this one. Back to the queue. Yair Rodriguez next in line. You're fighting the young lion. It's over. All right, kids, let's take a little break here because when I started this freaking podcast, it seemed like I had to figure it all out on my own. Script, setup, filming schedule, logos, merch, all that. It was a lot to deal with. It was overwhelming, and every day seemed to introduce a new decision that needed an answer. So when you're starting off with something new, it seems like your to-do list keeps growing every day with new tasks. A list that can easily begin to overrun your life. It's all you're doing. Find the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything. You can be such a game changer for millions of businesses. That tool is Shopify. We use it for dry, fast, all gas. It's fantastic. Cha-ching! Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. from household names like Mattel, Gymshark, to brands like Dry Fast, All Gas, and a lot of new companies getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So if you're ready to sell, get ready. Get ready with Shopify. Turn your business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for a new $1 per month trial period. Start selling today at shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase. Let's go to shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase, SCHAUB. Cha-ching.
Couldn't Chandler to be like Donald Cerrone though? Because he's always exciting. You know what I mean? Like
depends what he wants to do. There'll still be fights for him. There'll be fun fights for him to make. But as far as like fighting the tip of the spear, like the guys trying to climb to the top 5, those days are over. Now Paddy Pimblett, you're fighting that young lion. You lose to that, then the UFC's gonna be like, all right, people love Michael Chandler. He's a fan favorite. He's exciting. We're just gonna use these young lions to build their name off Michael Chandler. That's what's left for him if he wants to do it. Volkanovski, similar thing. Unfortunately, similar thing. Patricio, they're going to throw him to the fucking wolves. Here's Yair Rodriguez. You lose to him. Here's fucking some monster. It's not going to be good. There's a lot on the line. I'm not mad at the prelims either. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper, fantastic. Take my money. Dan Ige, Sean Woodson, great fucking fight.
That's actually a big women's strawweight fight too. Yan Xiaonan versus Verna Jandiroba.
Yeah, women's fighting's in the fucking shit can out of all the fights, Jim. Jesus Christ.
No, that is like an actual.
No, I know. It's one that the 17 people that care about women's fighting is going to be like, whoa, you know.
And Dominic Reyes, he finally got a win.
He's know. Wow, that's a great way to kick off the main event. I would have done Jim Miller, Chase Hooper, but I get it. It's a good card.
Yeah.
For what we're used to, it's a great card. And from 23 and above, this is a great card. For the people that just jump on board during COVID and are like, oh, I'll watch some fighting. And their fans like, oh my God, this card's insane. Ignorance is bliss, man. This is a run-of-the-mill card back in the day. It's a fight night, dog. That's what we're used to. It's a fight night. It's a fight night. But again, good pay-per-view for 2025. What do you got, Chin?
Real quick, I just remember when you were talking about Bryce Mitchell, he said something about his ex casting a witch spell on him as well. So it's like, damn,
God
dude.
damn it. He has a spell against him and he's not sleeping. And the anti-Semitic rant. Oh, and pro-Hitler. Oh, all odds would say pick against him. I got to find out if he's sleeping. God, you cast a spell against him? Fuck, can't bet on a guy who casts a spell. The science.
He's definitely not there right now. But
no, sir.
Sucks, dude.
You know what doesn't help was you don't sleep.
That's a huge thing. Remember Rampage? We didn't sleep for a few days, and then he actually went on a rampage with his huge truck.
Yeah, that's right. He freaked the fuck out and got full of Monster Energy and just ran down the 405.
Yep. So this is more like a rumor, but it's pretty much official. But Movsar Evloev, this is another thing throwing them to the wolves, right? So Aaron Pico is apparently signed to the UFC now, and his first fight will be Movsar Evloev.
That is a tough fucking
crazy
fight.
First fight in the UFC.
Tough fight.
And this is Movsar's record: 19 wins, 0 losses. He just beat Aljamain Sterling.
Dude, look who he's beat. Talk about strength of schedule. Talk about getting fucked over.
Yeah,
talk about getting just not looked at. They're just like, nah, we can't, man. All you do is grapple. Like, I enjoyed the Aljamain Sterling fight. That high level grappling, He beat Arnold Allen. Oh, my God. Dude, he's beat Aljo. Arnold Allen. Diego Lopes fighting for a world title. He beat him.
Yeah.
He beat, and Dan Ige, pretty good, right? He beat Dan Ige. This motherfucker is so good, and they're just not giving him a chance. Like, all right, we'll get past fucking Aaron Pico now. We're going to sign here's Aaron Pico. A guy that, the hardcore, I love Aaron Pico. I labeled him as the LeBron James of MMA when he lost at Madison Square Garden, and I was live on the fucking Showtime. You remember those days? We were at Madison Square Garden, and I said he's the LeBron James for MMA, and he got choked the fuck out. I still ride with Aaron Pico. The hardcores know who he is, but for Movsar, God, dog, they're just not helping him.
What is the strategy there? Because Aaron Pico seems way more like marketable and he's exciting as well. Like
the strategy, the availability. You're looking at guys in the top. They don't like Movsar. They think because Aaron has extensive wrestling background and can fucking box, so they're thinking that this can give Movsar problems. It's a tough fucking fight. Hey, Aaron, welcome to the UFC. I've told you guys this since day one. Back 10 years ago, there's warm-up fights. There's guys to build. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. You're fighting the who's who. And people are like, oh, my God, for Aaron's first fight? Yeah, man. It's the UFC. Welcome to the big show. You get mad when the Dodgers get lined up with the fucking Cincinnati Reds? Nah, they're all professionals. You got to be able to beat everybody. You get to the UFC, because you either fight Movsar now or you fight another killer. That's how, especially in that division, that's how this goes. If you sign with the UFC, be ready to fucking go, man. You might get a little leeway if you come from the Dana White Contender Series where they can give you some favorable matchups. But if you're fighting in the guys in the top 15, get ready to fucking go. From Bellator, get ready to go. Patricio, here's Yair Rodriguez. It sucks. There you go. Aaron Pico, PFL, cool. There's not a lot of competition, but you fancy yourself a world-class athlete? Here's Movsar. He's world-class. No one can figure him out. We hope you can. Chances are you're not going to, though. Pico will be underdog in that fight.
Yeah.
But again, none of this, people that complain or stuff, like, do you get mad when the Lakers get paired up with the Dallas Mavericks? It's professionals. That's how this goes. That's the game. When you sign that contract to fight in the UFC for 6 fights for terrible money, you're fighting the best of the best. That's what Aaron Pico got. I'm rooting for Aaron Pico, that's for sure. So's the UFC.
All right, going back to Chandler. So I think he was speaking with MMA Junkie, I believe, and he was saying that, because a lot of people are saying that he has a reputation of being a cheater. He does glove grabs, fence grabs. He grabbed Dustin Poirier's lip or something like that too, a bunch of stuff. And he's saying right now that it is actually, it's starting to get to him a little bit. And I'll just play this little bit of a clip here.
It's a tough narrative. With that being said, I also respect Paddy for not making a big deal out of it. I mean, I think it's a sign of weakness when you start talking about a guy cheating.
Yeah.
The most interesting one to me was Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje's a savage and calling me a cheater. I'm like, dude, come on, man. It's a little bit of a sign of weakness. But either way, things happen in there. The fans aren't gonna like everything that you do. Fans aren't gonna like you 90% of the time anyway. So it doesn't really matter. So we'll just leave it at that. I am doing exactly what I feel necessary in the fight. The referee, if they tell me to stop, I'm going to stop. There's a lot of things that you do inside the octagon that you're doing you don't even really realize you're doing, and it's the ref's job to tell you. So we'll see how these next couple fights play out.
So when you're actually in a fight, when you're actually in a fight, you personally, obviously it's chaotic, right? So when you're grabbing stuff, do you know what's could you imagine grabbing someone's mouth?
No.
And then not knowing it's his mouth?
No. Yeah, I mean, Chandler's going to Chandler. He's an exciting fighter. It's the last thing I think of when I think. To me, the biggest, not the biggest cheater, but the guy where you're like, come on, dude, it was John Jones with the eye pokes. That's when you're like, come on.
Yeah, dude.
But for Chandler, it's not like the shit they're accusing him of, it's not like he'd ever changed the fight, changed the dynamics of the fight, and he won. I can understand if he's won 4 of his last 5, and he's doing these fucking lip fish hooks and grabbing dicks and oil checks and all that shit. People are like, come, dude, he's winning by cheating. But it's not like the cheating. He's lost 4 of his last 5. What are people complaining about?
Yeah,
he's getting fucked up. They're exciting fights. He's going out on a shield, so it's not like he's cheating to win. That'd be a different narrative.
Yeah,
and also, does he do this? Because usually, whatever you do in practice, you can do in the octagon. So I don't know his team. So is he doing some of the shit in practice? Because it'd be weird to never do it in practice, and go into the biggest stage and just do this new shit where you're fish hooking and checking oil. That's kind of weird.
The one thing that I
probably do in practice,
actually trying to figure out how to do it, that'd be fucking
probably do in practice. But again, it's not like he's notoriously, cheating.
I mean, that's what people are saying, but
yeah, but it's just people that don't like Michael Chandler, and he's a big Trump supporter, so they're gonna come after anything,
I didn't think about that angle. But
name a guy besides Diego Lopez. I don't even know who it's Diego Lopez. Maybe they hate his haircut. But there's not like a guy in MMA, UFC, the rest of the leagues or whatever, in the UFC that's just beloved by 100% of people. It doesn't exist.
No.
Doesn't exist. Volkanovski, no. Bryce Mitchell, sure as fuck not. Paddy Pimblett, sure as fuck not.
I think the closest, but it ended badly. Was Ronda. Ronda.
She always had horrible haters. Always. Max Holloway's probably the best example.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I don't know too many people that hate him. There's not a lot you can hate on Max for.
No, I think most people love
Max. Is probably the most beloved fighter.
Pick, yeah.
Max is probably the most beloved. Miranda had horrible haters. Paddy Pimblett probably the most hated. Well, Bryce Mitchell. But there's it's just the MMA community. There's not Conor, especially these days. Good luck. Or even when he's coming up before all this weird shit outside the octagon, he was hated. John's hated. Brock Lesnar's severely hated. Frank Mir. You'd have to go before the internet days. Or
Oh,
social
Chuck was
media.
super loved too. Chuck.
But he's before, like, Chuck, Randy, Tito, obviously hated now, but Tito back in the day, like, there wasn't a lot of that, you know?
Yeah, MMA community is notoriously known
Very
for the
negative.
most hated. Yeah, the haters, the most
Yeah.
haters. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
This episode of The Schaub Show, breaking down UFC 314, is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial genius, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long ways. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states and situations. Progressive. Let's get back to the program.
So this is, I'll let Dana speak. Meta, we already knew Meta was going to team up with UFC, but then he got into more details about it right here.
Let me refresh. What's up, everybody? UFC and Meta just signed a massive long-term partnership. Meta will now become UFC's first ever official fan technology partner. This is great news for UFC fans. Why? Because this means that Meta will use all of their badass apps and technology like Instagram, Facebook, Threads, WhatsApp, and Meta AI to create amazing content and experiences for UFC fans. We've already started to work with Meta to create a new fighter ranking system that will debut later this year, thank God. We'll also be using Meta's AI-powered glasses to capture UFC content, and we're going to do things with Meta that will blow UFC fans away. The next few years will be an absolute game changer for fans of this sport. Stay tuned, everybody.
Makes sense. I mean, the rankings now, I don't know who the fuck's ranking them, you know, but they're a little off. I mean, I guess you go digital. At the end of the world. It's not that big of an announcement, you know. Well, just let you guys know, Zuckerberg's not a cuck. He did not tell me to say that. Definitely not. He's on TRT. He does jiu-jitsu, and that makes him a man. Okay. Also, he did not take money from the Biden cabinet to push a narrative and suppress information during COVID. Zuck's definitely cooler now. He wears chains and white tees. You got a fro. Definitely not a cuck, guys. He's definitely part of our team. Okay, I'll buy that. Zuck trains MMA, everybody, and he's creating the rankings. So if you don't think he's going to list Volkanovski pound for pound number one, whether he loses or not, because they have a close relationship, you're out of your fucking mind. Mackenzie Dern, number one pound for pound fighter in the world. According to Zuckerberg, he's a real man. He's working out, guys. He does jiu-jitsu. It changes a guy. He didn't know what he's doing suppressing information.
Oh, God.
He owns too big of a business. Who could run all that? But we'll give him all the other credit. Zuck's just like us. He hangs out at the UFC. Remember he's going to fight Elon Musk? You fucking idiot. That's like never happening. Come on.
I mean, these days, I think anything's possible.
No. Never happening. No.
I hope it does, though.
I'm a UFC fighter. I'm paid from Zuckerberg. The guy's pretty good. Okay.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Zuck became part of or was in, like, you know, the UFC stuff,
Yeah.
all the fighters were like, hey, Zuck. Remember all the
Oh, yeah.
comments?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Zuck, quick check from my wife. Hey, babe, just put an octagon. Is this serious? Remember that? Is what's
Oh,
like,
the
babe,
backyard
is this
thing? Oh, my
serious?
God.
Octagon in the backyard?
Yeah.
Bitch, gotta train. Check out my 2 chains. I'm just like the rest of the guys. Okay. Callan and Rogan to defend him. Like, oh, he's definitely jiu-jitsu would make you manly, dude. I'm like, okay. Do you know how hard it is to run that company? I bet he had no clue about the Biden stuff. Okay. We'll buy that narrative. Now he's controlling the rankings.
Not he, but Meta.
Oh, yeah, he owns Meta, bud.
AI. I don't know. We'll see how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, the rankings now, heaven forbid they should use real journalists to vote on it, but
I mean, I think
like guys that actually know the fucking sport. Heaven forbid. Yeah, use a fucking computer. And who's writing the program? With all this AI stuff, remember, a human has to program these things and develop the software. So if the person who's doing the rankings, this nerd that's doing the programming for Meta, is more in favor of a striker opposed to a grappler, you're going to have some bias in those rankings. It's never going to be perfect. What would be perfect if you take guys like Errol Hawani, Luke Thomas, like the whole gamut of actual journalists and have them vote on it like they do the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. Treat it like a real fucking sport.
that would be great. They'd probably pay him a lot of money, though, right?
No, those guys don't get
Ariel
paid.
and Luke.
They don't get paid. For rankings, no one gets paid.
No, I'm saying they should.
No, they do fine. The UFC, but you don't get paid to do the rankings. Guys don't get paid to vote for the Hall of Fame.
But for them to actually do the rankings, take the time out of their day,
They would do it for
should
free.
get paid. I think
No.
they should get paid.
Nah, they should do it for the love of the sport. UFC ain't gonna pay them.
All right, fine.
Those like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, they don't get paid to do votes. You're lucky if you even get a vote. That's a huge honor. Those guys would do it all day. It's not like it would take that much time. Oh, top 5 every division. Oh no.
Fine. All right, let's go here. So Daniel Cormier on his YouTube channel said that he thinks...
I just hate how there's no pushback on that Dana Zuck stuff.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is great. Like all the comments in there. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. This is gonna be best
the
thing
meta?
ever.
Okay.
Just everyone. Oh, God.
Dude, that's you, Casey.
So gay.
Well, all right. So Daniel Cormier on his YouTube channel said that he believes Islam Makhachev will fight Justin Gaethje next. And now,
Not at 55. Not at 55.
All right, well.
He goes,
This is
I
what
get
he
it.
says.
It would be warranted to give Ilya Topuria a title shot because there's no clear number one contender. The clear number one contender is Armin Sarukian, but if Armin Sarukian is not next, Charles Oliveira is another guy who's won fights. He beat Michael Chandler. He's supposed to fight for the belt before Armin. So there are guys. I honestly believe that the next fight for the belt's going to be Gaethje. It's going to be Gaethje. That's if I'm Team Makhachev. Remember, DC is really close to Team Makhachev.
Exactly.
So be careful. I'm asking for Gaethje. That's a big name fight. This guy carries a lot of name recognition. That's going to be a fight, if I'm honest with you. This whole narrative on Makhachev again. This just doesn't move the fucking markers forward for Islam passing the shadow of Khabib. Okay, you gonna fight Dustin? Or you gonna fight Gaethje? Okay. It does nothing.
So,
Topuria Dustin Poirier. Cautious Khabib accused of meddling with Islam taught a fight at UFC. I see Ilya Topuria and Dustin Poirier.
this is Henry Cejudo talking about it because he said he did talk to Khabib.
Because I remember talking to Khabib. Khabib said it's not fair for Ilya to skip the line and go after the title shot with Islam because that's all Islam's been doing. He gave Volkanovski a couple of touchdowns where he's got up, so I don't even think it's going to be Islam's choice. I think Khabib's going to step in and be like, he needs to fight the number one contender. He can say no for that reason, so I'm just going to be Justin Gaethje versus Islam International. Well, that's 2 for 2.
Yep,
Guys that
that's
know
why
the
it's
sport.
like building up to this. I'm like,
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
and then he said,
Everyone's saying Ilya versus Dustin Poirier. That's an interesting fight. That'd be a fun fight.
but that's still not the whole like, oh, it's you never would imagine kind of thing.
Makhachev Gaethje does nothing for me. Just gonna take him down, cement him.
All
What else you
righty.
got, Jen?
So this is also Henry Cejudo. He was in the news recently about stopping some hit and run guys. And I'll just play the clip for you real quick.
What shirt is he wearing?
Everything's funny about this.
Fucking sick.
all of a sudden I see this car. Our neighborhood's kind of like a U, so I see this car coming, you know, with a huge right turn, like freaking probably going 80 to 100 miles an hour. Next you know what, I hear a big sound and a boom. I knew he had hit
Say 200 miles an hour?
or somebody, but I knew
No,
something had happened to
82,
him in
100.
my neighbor's yard. And there's 4 passengers in there. You know, they couldn't get out. I mean, if you see inside this room, like if somebody was staying there, they'd be dead. You know, all these kids are lucky to be alive. But anyways, they decided they all got out, struggled to get out little by little, and then one of them kind of got away. They eventually ended up getting them, but they all tried to get out of the car and they tried to struggle. They're struggling to get out. Once they got out, you know, I told them, hey, you guys ain't going nowhere. Wayne tried to stop him, who's the owner of this house. He's like, you guys got to, you know, you guys got to be held accountable for what just happened. And then he ends up cold-cocking my neighbor. And, you know, that's when I had to step in. And, you know, pretty much the neighbors kind of they all came in somewhat to kind of, you know, fight the situation. Ended up dropping him, lifting him, dropping him, stopped him around a little bit. And just pretty much control him with one arm. So he wasn't that tough.
I loves to hear that.
It's always when he talks, it always seems like he's like embellishing a little bit, like slapped him around a little bit. But yeah, so he helped out his neighbor. Someone's trying to run after hitting his house.
Good for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Here it's just flawless outfits, fucking
silky shirt.
spicy. Yeah, there's a gold. Where do you even get a gold silk shirt these days? Maybe Versace or some shit.
Amazon.
Ooh, that makes it less cool, Jen.
Yeah, I don't think we announced this on the show yet, but Ian Machado
You got
versus.
announced on Friday.
Oh, okay, so Ian Machado versus Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates right now is like killing it. So.
Yeah, these guys smoke cigarettes.
And they're headlining Kansas City because remember Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill was supposed to do it. Then I think
Ian Machado, again, say what you want about him. When it comes to fighting, he's one of the best to do it, and he keeps taking short notice fights. If you ask for the smoke, Ian Machado Gary shows the fuck up. I don't know how you can't respect this kid. I think he fucked Carlos Prates up. You guys know how big I am on Ian Machado Gary. Mm-hmm. That's a great fight night. Kansas City stays to you. Ian Machado Gary's such a fucking beast. Smart fight too for him. Carlos Prates has a lot of hype on him. Smoking these cigarettes, people love him. Ian Machado Gary coming off that loss, even though it was kind of a win over with Schaub. So just to get a W puts him right back in there. It's brilliant. Good matchup for him too.
He's badass. There's no doubt.
Badass.
So it's officially announced that Merab Dvalishvili is going to rematch with Sean O'Malley at UFC 316, and I guess a lot of like pundits and fans are saying that's not a great.
The majority of people, well, especially when Dana's like, I have a big announcement. He's like, I'm gonna blow you guys away. I'm like, I wasn't blown, bro. This fight's just tough. Again, I love Sugar. You guys know this. This fight's tough because, you know, that fight wasn't that close, and you just don't see. You just don't see a path to victory for Sugar. What's he gonna do? There's not enough hours in the day. Apparently, he stopped jacking off and having sex and drinking. You know, but that doesn't improve his takedown defense. I just don't know what he's gonna do. I hope he wins. I hope he figures it out. You know, but I think that's people's issue with this fight because he gets an immediate title shot, but it's not like it was controversial. It's not like it was that close of a fight.
Yeah.
So I think fans like, okay. You know, I get it. You're like, oh, okay. I guess we want that.
Okay.
Are you guys crunk about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what if Sugar fucking knocks him out? It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be dope if he knocks him out.
You know?
It's tough. You know?
It's cool.
You're not excited for it, Chin?
I mean, it's cool. I'm not like super stoked about
Okay.
it. It's
Because
cool.
you know you're going to get 5 rounds of
I just
grappling.
imagine me at the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you just
You guys
tough.
are kind of ruining it for him.
It's tough to see it go
No.
the other way. It's kind of like the Islam Gaethje fight. You know, like I am because I'm a fucking degenerate. I'll shut things down, cook some steaks, and watch it with the family. Any UFC pay-per-view, I don't care. I'm doing it. But for the casuals that are like, I don't know if I'm going to spend $80 to watch Gaethje Islam. We know how it's going to go. I guess you're buying it in the hopes that Gaethje lands one. I guess you're buying Sugar in the hopes, but odds are we know how it's going to go. It is MMA, but you're talking about the tip of the spear guys. That's why. And you're like, oh, goddamn. UFC has a star problem right now. That's why they need Paddy to win this weekend. That's why they needed Alex to win this weekend. When you guys are like, the fans are like, oh, you only want entertainment. What about the rankings? I get all that. I want the sport to survive. And if all the casuals leave and pay-per-views keep going down and the numbers are terrible, if it keeps going down, I mean, I won't have a job doing this, but just the sport in general is in a bad spot. Horrible spot. You need that crossover star. So if Paddy loses, even Machado Gary loses, you think about the stars. Because the older heads that you guys know and love, that the hardcores came in the sport with, if you've noticed lately, they're all aging like a motherfucker. They're slowly getting casted out. There's no journalism. That's out now. You have the Nelk boys doing these interviews like, oh, what's your favorite cupcake? You're like, that's your question for Makhachev? Your favorite fucking cupcake? Nothing about the matchup? So it's like the sport's in a weird fucking place right now. Ratings are down. TV rights deals coming up. Like it's in a weird. Conor sure as fuck not coming back.
Yeah, but they got Meta doing the rankings now.
Boom. You got Zuck on TRT too.
Yeah.
So there's glass half full.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. I know people are sick of hearing this. If you want Conor to come back, there's a fight you can make that would do it. And if you remember, rewind this show 3 months ago, Paddy Pimblett, Conor McGregor. If Paddy gets by Michael Chandler, he's one fight away from a title. I know whatever you say about Paddy and you don't like him, that I'm telling you, the kid checks all boxes. He beats Michael Chandler, his first like quote unquote top, contender fight. He beats Chandler. He's one fight away from going Sizzler. What fight would put him on the board with the casuals more than a Conor McGregor fight? What fight would be bigger internationally than Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett? What fight would Conor accept? Mike Chandler's a tough fight for Conor. Charles Oliveira, not happen. Ilya Topuria, not fucking happen. Islam, not fucking happening. Young kid from Liverpool who's very charismatic and checks all the boxes, and Conor thinks he could probably beat him in the stand-up game. Conor would probably take that fight. The other ones, he'd be an underdog. The Paddy Pimblett fight, he might be a small underdog, but in Conor's mind, he thinks he can win that fight, so that might get him to do it. I've been saying this for a hot second. Paddy Conor's going to happen. But Paddy has to get past Chandler. And then he's just one fight away from fighting for your title. He's going to get fast-tracked. They babied him long enough. He passed the test with the vet and King Green. Passed with flying colors. All right, here's Michael Chandler, a tougher opponent, but still not, the top guy. Paddy's not ready for that. You beat Michael Chandler. All right, beat an older King Green, beat an older Michael Chandler. Check all the boxes. Come on. We got a guy with star quality here. What's next? Could you give him some fucking monster, and Sarukian or some shit? You could if you wanted to fuck his world up, but that's not fun. Come on, what are we doing? Nope. You make the phone call, you send out that green bat signal, and you got Conor waiting in the wings. Conor goes, I can beat Paddy. Conor knows deep down with his training camp. Conor probably thinks he can beat Paddy on a 3-day notice. Stand-up wise, Conor's way ahead of Paddy, stand-up wise. Do I think Conor wins that fight? Probably not. But Conor's team's like, oh, Paddy's a good matchup for us. Michael Chandler's a tough one. Charles Oliveira's a fucking nightmare. Makhachev, fucking nightmare. Topuria, nightmare. Paddy, though, Conor thinks he can beat. That will get him to sign a contract. You're going to get Paddy Conor if Conor fights again.
I'm with you 100% that it'll probably be the biggest fight in a long
UFC needs it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if they did fight, let me ask you this. They're not champions, so would they have to be a co-main event. They would have to be the main event, right?
Yeah, you just don't have any other title fight on the card because you can't put them over a title fight. It's always going to take priority.
Yeah, so they would have. That'd be like one of the first ever headline.
Yeah, fans don't really give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Paddy Connor in Ireland, or hold my fucking scouser here. Paddy Connor in Liverpool. That's where you do it. Imagine that crowd. I know they fell asleep the other night, but dude, imagine that fucking crowd. Or just spitballing ideas here. I don't work for the UFC marketing team. You finally signed John Jones and Tom Aspinall. That's your main event. Your co-main event is Connor and Paddy. And Connor still gets pay-per-view points. And you have John and Aspinall on there. So Connor's going to make all the money. Favorable opponent. You do it International Fight Week. Suck my dick. Any other fucking questions, Case?
Yes. Just
What?
Just one. Would that be a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight then?
3, baby.
Okay.
Can't do 5.
No.
You know, can't do 5.
You think Connor's ego will allow him to do a co-main event?
What'd you say?
You think Connor's ego will allow him to do a co-main, even though it's like an enormous?
I think you will because he'll know he's getting pay-per-view points off Tom and John.
Yeah. So it's just all about the money then.
It's about money. It's about card placement, and it's about matchup. Number one being matchup, and he thinks he can beat Paddy. He knows He knows he has to be on his P's and Q's. Now, do I think he'll beat Paddy? Probably not. In this current state, probably not. I love Conor, but that's a tough fucking fight. The whole Islam Topuria talk. Come on. It's tough. Last break. This episode of the Schaub Show, Breakdown of 314, is brought to you by Sure Shot. You're going to watch this big UFC 314 Miami. You're going to watch it with your boys, your ladies. You're going to have some dogs on the grill, some steaks on the grill. You're going to be having some drinks. And then about the co-main event, I'm like, man, should I really have that drink? And I'm in your head saying yes, because you have Sure Shot, the world's first alcohol detoxifier that reduces blood alcohol content in as little as 30 freaking minutes. Wake up the next morning, ready for travel ball, ready for rec ball. God bless you, dads, doing rec ball right now. It's a disaster. You wake up with a sharper mind and body, liver support, well-being boost, gut support, hydration. That's Sure Shot. Just go to sureshot.com, promo code Brendan, get 10% off, or go to your local Bevmo, get a 4-pack for you and the boys, you and the baseball travel dads, rec dads, we got you. Sureshot.com, go to Bevmo or Amazon store, TikTok, they're all over. Sureshot.com, promo codes Brendan.
Alrighty. So on the same card, 316, Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison. It's official now.
What do you mean same card?
316 is the card we're just talking about right now.
Oh, with Marab and Sugar?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that one's not going to do great pay-per-view.
And here are the odds.
Harrison is a minus 590 favorite. That's offensive. Plus 370 as an underdog. It's because Julia Pena, she doesn't have a ton of good wins on her resume. It's just the state of the women's divisions. She beat Amanda Nunes. Amanda didn't take the fight serious, so you're like, all right, but that was a huge win. That was cool. Proud of her. Mm-hmm. And I think her best win outside that would be Raquel Pennington.
Amanda, Sarah McMahon, she was pretty tough.
She lost to Jermaine. She lost to Shevchenko. Yeah. Like her best ranked opponent would be Raquel outside Amanda. So that's what's going on there. That's why she's such a big dog. And she's not super active. She took 2 years off when she lost to Amanda, and she beat Raquel Pennington in a split decision. She fights like once a year. She fought Kat Zingott. She's just not that active. She fights about once a year. And then and if not once a year, then she takes like 2 years off, 3 years off. Like lost to Shevchenko, took 2 years off. Got a win, took a year off. Lost, took a year off. Got a win, basically took a year off. Beat Amanda Nunes, took a year off. lost to Amanda Nunes, took 2 years off, you know? So she's just not active, and then you're fighting Kayla Harrison. That's why the odds are like that. I think Kayla should be like a minus 220. It's offensive how bad that is.
Have you ever met Juliana?
Yes.
In person?
Yeah, she's awesome. Savage.
So remember our Harrison came to our office at Malka?
Yes.
I remember thinking like, how, dude, she could just
Like baby
pick
Brock
me up.
Lesnar. Yeah. Oh yeah, she'll pick you up.
Are they kind of sort of the same size or no?
Height wise, yes. Built like the straight up like thickness, like you know, like Kayla's fucking that judo background's no joke.
She looked
man.
insane.
And she beat Ronda in judo. She's a fucking monster. Harrison's great for the sport too. Good person, good mom, Olympian, one of the best, if not the best judoka, you know, from America. Harrison's a good story. Yeah, for Juliana, I know she probably takes offense to it how low of a dog she is. Yeah, how big of an underdog she is, rather say. But it's just because she's not active, and her best win outside of Amanda Nunes, which people just don't give enough credit for that, is Raquel Pennington. That's why.
Alrighty. Here's a quick one. Our boy, Andre Petrosky, posted this.
Great poster.
He posted that he's fighting Edmund Shabazian, he's actually doing well now, in June 14th in Atlanta.
Shabazian was that young contender. We just need him to get some wins. I love both these guys. Great fight. Great poster, Petrosky.
Yeah, old school.
Love it. I used to have this old school UFC shirt I got when I was an Ultimate Fighter. God, I wish I still had it. So the UFC 1 poster is fucking sick.
Have you seen that Pride t-shirt with the hand and then like a thunderbolt?
That's their logo. It
Yeah.
just says Pride. I used to have that as well.
Dude, that shirt looks badass to me.
I know.
I can't find
does
it.
UFC still make them?
I'm pretty sure they might have it, but
I bet we could
I
find
looked
it on
for it.
Etsy or something. I would love to have one of those.
But they're going to be that cotton, like that crappy cotton
I know,
stuff.
it's all
Yeah.
thick. I know. I wish they'd make those.
Okay, so this one, Kyoji, it just was announced recently that Kyoji Horiguchi, who's a badass bantamweight, is
Yeah.
back in the UFC.
Yeah, he's great.
And then his teammate is actually Pantoja. Pantoja credits Horiguchi as the reason why he actually got a title, because you know how much they trained together.
Now they're going to have to fight.
He said it would be a pleasure to fight Kyoji. You know,
Love to see it.
but it's only for the belt if they do it.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah, love to see it. Yeah, for a belt, all gloves are off. No pun intended.
We don't have to read all this, but that's pretty much what he said in
Yeah.
a nutshell. Jessica I remember her from the
Oh,
UFC?
yeah.
She signed with the BKFC.
Jessica eyes the BKFC.
Yes, she does. Alrighty. We went through this already. Oh, another quick one. So this guy, Mohammed Mokayev, who's badass, but
Yeah, we talked about last week. He's
issues.
fighting karate combat, even though he's a wrestler.
But that's not even the point here. But he's fighting some guy that I've never really heard of. But
Okay.
what's apparently supposed to headline this card is Sam Alvey, your boy, versus Tyrone Spong.
Oof, tough fight.
Can you
for
imagine
Sam.
that? I know, like
God
Tyrone
damn.
Spong is like that's what he does.
Yeah, he's been fucking guys up forever.
Kickboxing, yeah.
Yeesh.
All right,
Sam will surprise you, though.
dude, he has knockout power like crazy. Yeah,
Sam will surprise you. You're like, Jesus Christ, he beat him?
he looks so slow and clumsy,
Yeah.
but then he lands.
So has like 18 kids on the farm and shit, then shows up for fighting and wins.
How funny. All right, so this has to do with the GFL. Verdum was supposed to fight Frank Mir. Frank Mir has an injury, so he had to not
No,
fight.
yeah, Frank's coming off like hip surgery or
Yeah.
back surgery.
Yeah, so
He's on Blue Scorpion, but still.
But
Can only
because-
do so much.
because of that, Verdum basically implied that he has no motivation to fight in the GFL anymore because, you know, Frank was actually motivation for him. So
Yeah.
he bounced, so he's not part of
Good
it.
for him. Yeah, but he's such a legend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's just not going to stick around and fight anybody. He's stopped. He's in shape, too. See his Instagram?
Oh, yeah,
Fuck.
he got jacked out
You
of
don't
nowhere.
you don't want those problems.
This is pretty cool. Brandon Royval versus
Great
Manel
fucking
Kopp,
fight.
UFC 317.
Is that the one with Harrison and Pena on it?
No, that's 316.
Okay.
Oh, this is kind of silly, but I'll just say it real quick. So Eddie Hall versus Marius Pujanowski, they're going to do MMA. Oh, by the way, I thought that Eddie Hall did MMA before, but he didn't. He did boxing.
Yeah,
So
Pujanowski did.
yeah, but
Yeah, Eddie Hall competed against Thor in just boxing.
yeah. But Eddie Hall said like he wanted to have 2-minute rounds because he's like, I'm just too big. Like his cardio can't last that long because he's so giant.
Okay, well maybe don't fight then.
And then he's like, yeah, Marius wanted 5 rounds, so they compromised, and it's now 4. And still, obviously, Eddie Hall's like, damn, that's still too many rounds.
Is it 4 2 minutes though?
I think it's 4 2. No, yeah. You know what? Damn it.
Is it 4 5s? 4.
I wanted 2-minute rounds.
I love it.
Oh, sorry, that's what it is. Not the round. It's the minutes.
Yeah.
The minutes, yeah.
So his opponent wanted 5-minute rounds. Somehow we met in the middle. Nowhere near the middle at 4. I'm not too happy. I want 2-minute rounds because I'm so big. My fitness isn't going to be anywhere near his. Yeah, dude. I never fought MMA before. Then don't do it.
Here's how he's promoting the fight.
Because I know MMA is a lot more taxing on the body, so I'm trying to do 1-minute rounds and get out of there. When you adrenaline dump, all the cardio goes out the window, so 4-minute rounds is a big ask for me. Hey, man. You got to be down to do the Tour de France on a motorcycle. Obviously, he has an advantage of the cardio. It's like, well, dude, then don't do it. Work on your cardio. Get smaller. That's hilarious.
So it'll be 3 4-minute rounds then.
But 4 minutes is a long time.
That sounds like a lifetime to me. Like for
Think of 5 5s. It's too long to do anything.
yeah. I don't know how you guys did this shit.
What else you got, Doug?
Oh, I'm sure you're bummed about this. But Rampage versus
I saw Rashad's post,
Evans.
his beautiful dreads. They just couldn't figure it out. Yeah, when I saw the poster, I'm like, there's no way this thing's happening.
yeah. So it's because of the promotion though. I guess they're not agreeing on the contract.
That means it's a money thing, 100%.
Yeah, I imagine. Do you like his dreads or do you like him with a shaved head better?
Shaved head.
Same.
Yeah.
Alrighty, just a couple. Oh, I don't know if we can even show this, but I'll show you. This is from the past weekend. I've never seen a cut like this. We've seen bad cuts before, right? You ready? That's his lip. And I don't know what the hell that thing is right there.
He has a bone in it.
And then, so that's them fixing it up. So,
He had a horrible cut in my lip. They stitched that bitch up right there. You'd be surprised how fast he heals. He'll be fine.
yeah. It just look. That's like the nastiest one I've ever seen.
Not good.
Okay. Here's a quick one. I think this is Octagon 69. This guy won a fight, then kissed the guy in the back of the head, and then humped him. And then I'll just show you what happened after.
Teraz wybiera się do tańca, użył holter, hop się, a i to głęboko.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. They went out of the ring. You can't be humping, guys. I don't know what the buildup was, but that was pretty intense.
Pulled a Donnie.
Yeah, that'd be humping lately, man. What can you do? Dogs are going to dog.
All right, dude. That's
That
it.
All right, yeah, UFC 314 this weekend in Miami. Volkanovski. You got a bunch of old head legends going against the new crop. UFC's praying the new crop gets it done. You got Alexander Volkanovski, Dio Lopes, Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett, Bryce, Flat Earth Mitchell. You got Silva, Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull. The prelims are not bad. You got Jim Miller, Chase Hooper, Dan Ige, Sean Woodson. Take my money. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, y'all. All right, that's it. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be able to watch this one. My kiddo has one game early, so your boy's good. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and Spotify, Apple, do all that stuff. Love you guys. Till next time, I'm out.